with Services by Kim. Real quick, I just wanted to go over some differences between being an independent contractor and being employed. So as far as location, if you are an independent contractor, you technically don't have a location. If you're an employee, you work at that location. As far as tax-wise goes, as an independent contractor, you look like you own your own business. So they are contracting you to do a specific thing. So say you are having a wedding and you are paying the wedding planner. They're not your employee. You have contracted them to do something specific as in plan your wedding. So this is the same thing as a massage therapist. If you are an independent contractor, you have been hired to do massage therapy. With that, there are negotiations you can do as far as the percentage, how much percentage-wise you're gonna get paid from what they charge their clientele. Coming to Clientele, the people that you work on aren't your clientele. They're actually owned by whatever company you've been hired by, if that makes sense. So usually with that, there is a non-compete clause, and that is basically you can't take their clients. If you decide you want to switch locations or open up your private practice, you're not allowed to touch their clients. With independent contracting, things like say you were, let's go back. Say you're an employee. So you come into a spa and they've hired you on as an employee. You don't have to provide your own lubricants, your own sheets, your table, things like that. That's typically something that's given to you and all you have to do is show up. As far as independent contracting, they aren't obligated to give you anything. You have to come in with everything, or you're supposed to come in with everything that you need. So if you are hired by someone as an independent contractor and they do supply linens or they do supply lubricants, that's something they actually don't have to do. And that is because we can actually write those things off if we purchase them. Just like, again, you are looked at as your own business. So that would mean that expenses like that you can write off. Even down to when you're taking a lunch break and you go to eat. You've been independently hired to do that. So in between those times, you're not given a lunch break, off the clock per se. So what you have to go get food, and that food that you go get between the times that you're working is something that you can write off. And I'm saying this kind of openly because I'm not sure if this changes from state to state or anything like that, but just in a general sense. So if you're independent, you can say, I do hot stone, I don't want to do hot stone. You also set your own schedule just as if you were private practice, but you're not in their eyes because they've hired you to do something. So you can set your own schedule. Say they're open 7 days a week, but you only are available on 3 of those days. So you can say, I will be available from this time to this time, and that's it. You don't have a part-time or full-time type regular schedule as you would an employee. Oh, benefits. So most of the time, independent contractors do not have a benefits package, or however you want to say it, as opposed to if you're an employee. So that's just something that comes with it. You've got to have your own backup for that, like paid days off and things like that. That doesn't happen. If you don't work, if you're not doing massage, you're not getting paid. It's just kind of that simple when it comes to the independent contract side. If you're an employee, there's different things that come with that as well. You get the vacations and the retirement and things like that. But with independent contracting, that doesn't really happen. That's something you have to push for and find on your own as an individual. But most of the time, if you're an independent contractor, you're not paid hourly. It's based on the service that you rendered. So you're paid based on how many massages you do. Your availability comes open to just that. You will be available during those times. You don't have to come into that space unless you are rendering a service. So say I'm available from 9 to 5 on Mondays. If I only get booked a 10 o'clock session and 2 o'clock session, I only have to be there during those 2 times. I don't have to be there the entire time. That's up to you if you want to do that. Also, if you're not doing the service that they have paid for, you're typically not getting paid for those other times you're sitting there. That kind of reinforces you don't have to be here unless you're being paid to do something that they've hired you to do. Another thing, you do set your limit. So say I only want to do 3 massages a day. You're allowed to say that as an independent contractor. On the other side, if you're an employee, you're there for whenever they say that you're there. You're working from these hours to these hours. So from 9 to 5, they can book as many as they want, and your employee, you're there to work during this time. So yeah, that kind of gives you a difference of what it's like to do independent contracting and being hired as an employee somewhere. Piggybacking off of that, with my personal experience, I decided to go into private practice because a lot of the jobs that I were finding were independent contract work, and I figure if I'm working as an independent contractor already, if I'm working as an entrepreneur already, I might as well go ahead and move this towards a private practice. Yeah, so that's what kind of brought me to the private practice side. Yeah, so hopefully that answers some questions about if you want to go into private practice, if you want to do independent contracting, or if you want to be an employee. If you have any questions, let me know. Subscribe, comment. Looking forward to seeing some response from you all, and see you all in the next video. Thanks. Bye.